All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to F-Secure Elements webinar. We launched F-Secure Elements in 4 weeks ago in Species, our global partner event, and today is the time to go through how it really looks and do a Elements walkthrough in the portal. So today we are mostly doing demos, so thumbs up that everything is working correctly. Let's go through the agenda. So we will start like general topic that what is F-Secure Elements, that it's 100% clear what is Elements, but then we dive into those demos. And in those demos, we will go through what's new we have in Elements, what kind of products we have, what new we have there, what kind of new capabilities we have and features. So let's check that one. And of course, last but not least, you want to see that what's happening after we have launched these elements and how we are doing this development further. So let's get started. Let me introduce myself first. So my name is Harri Ruusinen. I'm heading our pre-sales operations here at F-Secure, and our chat is open all the time. So please shoot those messages to the chat. We have pretty packed agenda today, so it might be that we don't have time to go through all those questions, but don't worry, we will answer to you. We know that who sent the message, and then we will come back to you and you will get your answer. So let's get started. What is F-Secure Elements? F-Secure Elements is our cloud portfolio. And here on the right-hand side, you can see solutions. So we actually renamed all our solutions, but we also introduced something new as well. So we don't have PSP protection service anymore. We have endpoint protection or Elements endpoint protection. We don't have RDR. We have EDR or Elements EDR. And so on. So we have vulnerability management, and then we have collaboration protection, how we will protect Microsoft 365 cloud. But what is the good thing? So in Elements, we want to add everything together. We want to combine everything together. And it starts from these agents, so from these solutions. So now if you deploy one F-Secure agent, which is called F-Secure Elements agent, then you can pick and choose that what do you want to have. Do you want to have EPP feature? Do you want to have EDR feature? Or do you also want to add vulnerability management? And of course, if you are using Microsoft 365, then we have protection for that one as well. So you pick and choose what you need, what your customer need to protect their environment. Elements is not just about these solutions. It's also combining services and pricing models. And on the pricing model side, we have one new thing, which is usage-based security model. So what we used to have is that we have annual licenses, we have monthly invoicing, but now it's really purely usage-based. So if you are not putting up your computers in a certain month, then you don't need to pay anything. So it's really flexible model. You can pay when you use your devices, and then you can pick and choose that what are those capabilities what you want to use. Then of course services. So we are combining services to these elements. And for example, what I want to highlight is this elevation. So you are not alone. If you need help from us, we are ready to walk the road together with you. So if you have any questions, you don't know what this kind of incident or detection means on the EDR portal, you can elevate that to F-Secure, and then we will help you. Of course, then if you want to expand your business and you are thinking about more start delivering services, if you are not doing that today, or you want to start delivering additional services like vulnerability management, we are here for you. We will help you that how to start or how to get started. All right, so let's dive into these details. So let's dive into these solutions. Today we are talking about solutions. We are not diving into that pricing model, even though it's a new thing, but we are talking about these solutions and new capabilities. So the first thing that we introduced is actually new mobile protection. And this new mobile protection is totally new client. So we actually combined two different mobile offerings that we had. And now we have this mobile protection, and I will talk a little bit more about that one later. Then we have Elements Connector. So we understand that even though we are combining all the data in the Elements portal, we understand that there is still need to maybe deliver that data to somewhere else. So you might have, for example, your SIEM system where you need to have threat information. So we have this elements connector that will help you to transfer or integrate your SIEM system easily with F-Secure elements. That's a new thing, and it's currently in the pilot and coming soon. Then endpoint detection and response, so EDR, we have new threat hunting event search capability there, and I will show that how you can dive into those details, possibility to have different kind of view to that threat data that is easier to understand if you have, for example, a lot of activities or you want to dive into certain things, for example, network connections. And then memory scanning is really interesting, that it might be, unfortunately, that sometimes customers decide to buy EDR when something bad is already happening. Of course, we need to have then still capabilities to help the customer. So if the customer is already under attack, they can install still our EDR client, and our memory scanning can still analyze that what's going on those machines, and then we can find those anomalies. Then vulnerability management. This is actually one really big thing and new thing what we introduced together with Elements launch, because now vulnerability management endpoint agent scanning capability is now part of the F-Secure Elements agent. So it means that when you deploy F-Secure Elements agent, then you can also start doing this vulnerability management, not just patching products, which is super important, and we have that in EPP, but then in the vulnerability management, you can actually start to deliver the whole vulnerability management process, which is much bigger thing. So we have this endpoint agent there. Then collaboration protection means at this stage, Microsoft 365 platform. And one interesting thing there is a compromised account, so we can find information if your company has any accounts that has been breached somewhere, or password is leaked to somewhere, or it's just email address. And then new thing that we are currently cooking is SharePoint protection. So at the moment we can protect email, but then soon we will protect SharePoint, and maybe we will start to protect some other components there. Stay tuned. So if we dive in even a little bit more to these elements, you can see that EPP, EDR, and vulnerability management, those are the capabilities or products inside this F-Secure Elements agent. Why I'm talking about these capabilities, that if you, for example, use this usage-based security, you have all those capabilities. You just enable those if you want. And if you enable, then you need to pay. So everything is there. You just pick and choose that, okay, I want to enable EPP, I want to enable EDR, I want to enable vulnerability management. And then we have, of course, this connector or agent to Microsoft 365 Cloud. And then the best thing in these elements is that it's not just happening on the client side. It's happening also on the backend side. So then we are feeding all this data to our security analysis, one big data lake where we can combine this data. And this is really the thing. So we are combining the data, and then we can use this single management portal called F-Secure Elements Security Center. And this Elements Security Center then is the one console that can give you much better visibility what is happening in the organization. So it's not just that you are focusing to EPP detections. You can combine the data. We can build you different kind of dashboards, reports, and of course it's much streamlined, much faster to work with. And then if you need to deliver or integrate that data somewhere else, it's much easier as well. So this situational awareness is the one of the best thing in this element. So it's happening on the agent side, it's happening in the platform, and this is F-Secure Elements. So let's go to those demos, and let's start actually from this view. So this is the company account level dashboard. So if you have given access to your end or your customers, end customers, access to this F-Secure Element Security Center, when they log in, they can see this one summary dashboard. And you can see already in this dashboard that you can see endpoint protection, so EPP, you can see endpoint detection and response, EDR, you can see Microsoft 365, and you can see vulnerability management. Everything in one single view. So of course it's really nice because then you have much better overall picture that what's happening in this organization. And if you then click, for example, I want to know more about this endpoint protection, when you click it, boom, you are immediately in the EPP details and you can dive in that what's going on. So this dashboard is available when you are only managing one single company. So now here I have this FI Next Gen marketing company. And now you can see that I don't have access to other companies. So this is a company level account. So end users and customers, they can use this one and then they can enjoy this combined dashboard. What about then you, partners? What you will get? You will get this kind of dashboard. So when you log in next Monday, this is not visible for you today, but good news is that next Monday when you log in, Element Security Center, this is what you will see. You will get your own summary dashboard that is combined data from all your customers. And then you can see everything in this one combined dashboard. So this is separated to different kind of stages. So we are using this Gartner model. You can see predict, detect, and response and prevention. And then you can also see top devices at risk or top 5 affected mailbox. So of course, it's interesting to see here that, okay, CFO has received a lot of detections from his mailbox or her mailbox. So then we need to dive into those details. And then it might be that these computers are linked to that CFO, so you can see that immediately. And then, of course, you can click these and dive into those different capabilities. So that's new. That's the first visual thing what you can see when you log into F-Secure Element Security Center. What is the next thing? The next thing is this, solution or capability selector. So in the right upper corner, you can see all products or capabilities that you have here. And now you can see that I have all these capabilities. I have EPP, I have EDR, I have vulnerability management, and Microsoft 365. So if I want to go to EPP, I'm there. If I go to EDR, I'm there. If I want to go to vulnerability management, I'm there. So I'm not sure how nicely this is visible when you are watching this webinar because there's always delay in the network connection, but you can see that the navigation is super fast. So we want to deliver this seamless integration between all these capabilities. You can really fast switch from one capability to another. And of course, then we are combining this data or integrating this data between these capabilities. So this is the first phase. And I will actually, in the end, I will open a little bit that what's happening in the development side. So you can see that this is not the end of this story. But this is the second really visible thing, that look and feel is the same in every single capability. It's one single portal, and you can really fast switch between these capabilities. All right. Next, let's dive into those feature-specific things. So let's go to vulnerability management. And vulnerability management, of course, is that you can start finding or understanding your assets in the network, and then you can start to do vulnerability scanning, and then you can actually establish a vulnerability management process that you will continue that, for example, every second week, checking that you have any new vulnerabilities. Then when you have, you will patch those, then you will scan it again, and then you have good reporting and you understand what's going on. That traditional way to do this vulnerability scanning is to use these scan nodes. So you can see that we are giving automatically internet scan nodes or web public scan nodes. Sorry about that terminology. So public scan nodes. So when you start to use vulnerability management, you can use those public scan nodes, and then you can start scanning your public-facing assets, like from, for example, your web servers or email servers and so on. Then you can also deploy scan nodes to your internal network. So you will install this scan node to your Linux or Windows server, and then you will start scanning, understanding that, okay, what kind of devices you have on the network. You can scan certain network spaces, and then you will find, do actual vulnerability scan, and then you will find vulnerabilities. For example, here you can see that I have a lot of hosts and a lot of vulnerabilities here. But now, a new thing that we introduced together with these elements is this endpoint agent-based scanning. So now when you deploy this F-Secure Elements agent, all capabilities are there already. So what we can do is that then this device discovery can show us all the computers that I have deployed, or where F-Secure Elements agent is deployed. And for example, this CFO laptop. We already saw some detections coming from email. So I definitely want to make sure that we don't have any vulnerabilities on this computer. And CFO is pretty important person, of course. So we will enable this one. And then I just click enable scanning. And then I just need to confirm that, yes, I want to enable this scanning. Now, what I just did, I enabled vulnerability scanning capability to this one specific host. How long it took? 20 seconds. Oh, maybe I was using a little bit too high value. Maybe it took 5 seconds. So it's really easy to start offering this vulnerability management. And then after that, what is happening is that then we can see those devices here. So it will start to scan this laptop, and after few minutes, we will start to get this vulnerability data to the console. So let's open, for example, this another one that I already had in the portal that we don't need to wait. So if I open this another laptop that CFO owns, so what we can see here is that I can, for example, see that, okay, what kind of open network ports are there? I can see that is there any public or vulnerabilities that are publicly exploitable. So definitely those are the most important ones. We need to patch those immediately. So we can see open ports. We can see software, installed software. We can see version numbers and of course vulnerabilities related to those, if any. And then we can see hardware information. But let's go back to this vulnerabilities tab. So here we can then see all these vulnerabilities. If we scroll down, let's wait 1 second. Hopefully we will. It will come in a second. So let's go back to this screen. So let's open this CFO laptop again. And now we can see these vulnerabilities here. So here you can see that, okay, this Adobe Air vulnerability, for example, is really important. And then you can find more information, and you can see that there is public exploit available for this one. But this is how easy it's to start. Is to start using this vulnerability management. Of course, then you have reports and whatnot. But the key point here is that you can just enable it in a few seconds. All right, let's go to the next topic. And the next topic is EDR. And of course, EDR is super important today, that you can detect these new evolving threats. And you can also detect threats that are maybe human conducted, more targeted, and especially you have better understanding how the attack started, that you can do corrective actions and make sure that this won't happen again. So EDR, super important to have, of course, today. So what EDR really means, I'm sure that most of you are already using this one and very familiar with it. But let me show one thing. So if I go to detections, and I will show that what is happening in CFO's laptop. So this is one specific detection. And of course, we want to give you like easy actionable detection that you know what is happening. And for example, if I look this picture, I can see immediately that something bad is happening on this machine. If I can see that CFO opened Outlook and then Outlook opened Windows Word, and then I can see that Windows Word started to use Windows PowerShell command, which is the normal Windows administrator command. That's not normal behavior for Windows Word. Of course, we can most of these kind of things can be protected by using EPP, but attacker is trying to find new ways all the time. So it's important that we have really good understanding how this started. And if you are blocking just this in EPP, you still don't have that 100% visibility what EDR brings. So I can already see that, okay, something bad is happening here. And of course, I can dive into these details. We can see what was the user account. So it was Michael who opened this file, and we can see that it was job application file. And we can see other important information. We can see that, okay, here's the PowerShell command. And we can see that actually PowerShell command downloaded the file from Dropbox. So this file is downloaded from Dropbox by using encrypted network connection. So why EDR is important also, everything is happening on the host side, that we have that visibility. If you try to look this from the network perspective, you can just see that, okay, there is encrypted traffic going to Dropbox. Of course, if your company denies to use Dropbox, then it might be a different thing. But otherwise, it might be really hard to understand that how this started. But if we know that, okay, this started from PowerShell and then there's a network connection, then we know that it's something bad. Okay, so this is one way to dive into these details. A new thing that we introduced to get in this Elements launch is our event search. So event search is actually like a different kind of view to those detections. You can do different kind of filters that you understand that what's going on. So for example here, I have filter where I want to see all events from this company and the process name needs to be PowerShell. And then I want to see from this laptop. So now I can dive into this one specific laptop. This is CFO's laptop, and I can see all PowerShell processes. So for example, now I can see this in a more list view, and I can see that PowerShell is doing a lot of different kind of things. So it's loading some modules, it's actually accessing some files, and of course we can dive into these details. So if I open, for example, this file access, I can open and check that, okay, what is the information that we know about this one? And you will find a lot of different kind of information. For example, here you can see that this is the file that is accessing it, and what is the computer name and other additional information. The good thing here is that you can then modify this event search as much as you want. So this actually shows already that what's the direction where we are going also in other these kind of list views, that you can pick and choose, for example, that what are those columns that you want to see in the list. So you can, if you don't want to see, for example, this received timestamp, you just click it and then it's gone. That's one thing. Or you can add it. Or you can easily create these filters. So if you want to actually see this data, this process ID, you just click this one, add column, and then you have that on the list. So here it is. So this is really easy to modify. And of course, what is important is that you can store your favorite view. So then you can go here and you can create your new views, or you can, and then when you have those views, then you can use those. For example, I have here one view which shows that all PowerShell network processes. So if I click this view, then I can see all PowerShell processes that are actually creating network connections. And now when I open this view, then I can easily see that what are those destination domains. So I can see that this computer is using PowerShell to connect, for example, this kind of domain. What is this one? I really don't want to see this one. And of course, then we can go back to EPP and we can start, for example, blocking these addresses if you want. And you can see IP addresses, network ports, why PowerShell is talking with Dropbox. Then this event search is coming for free when you are buying EDR capability, and then you can dive into this data, what is visible in those detections, those broad context detections that I just showed you one example. It is also possible to buy a full data view if you want. This is more companies or you as a partner, if you have skill sets to start doing more like a threat hunting on your side. And I will show you a couple of examples that what could be like a good example that why that would be interesting. So for example, this one. Let's pick this password parameters. So now I'm searching that I would like to see the command line where there is a password parameter passed. And now I can open this one. And if you check this one, what is happening here, you can see that there is someone is downloading a file from this website. It's not even encrypted, which is not a good thing. But the worst thing is that you are actually passing this username and you are passing this password as a parameter in this command. So this is not like the threat that someone is attacking against you, but this is definitely something that you should fix. This is not the good security best practice to transfer clear text passwords and well, especially when you are not encrypting the network traffic, but still you should handle this in a different way. So this is more this like a peacetime value that EDR can bring. It's not always that, okay, there's an attack that is happening, but this is something that you want to do. Or another example could be this Dropbox. So if you have some applications that are denied in your organization, those are unwanted applications, you have a policy that you are using OneDrive, why someone is then using Dropbox. We can easily find that, okay, this user is using Dropbox, and then we can do, of course, corrective actions. Again, we can use it, for example, EPPs, application control, create a rule that, okay, we can start blocking this Dropbox. All right, then let's go to the next capability, which is our Microsoft 365 protection. So Microsoft 365 protection and then compromised accounts. So what is compromised accounts feature? So compromised accounts is monitoring email addresses in several different locations. So we have a lot of threat intelligence that can tell you that if your account or password is somehow exposed, so it has been part of some data breaches. And for example, here we can see that CFO's account has been in 2 data breaches, and we can dive into those details. At the same time, we can see that actually this password hasn't been changed since the breach. So what would be the corrective action? Change the password. Well, what would be the next thing? Well, enable at least 2-factor authentication that you don't just have the password. So let's open this one. And we can see 2 data breaches here. And let's open, for example, this first one that we can get details. And here we can see that more than 3 billion user credentials were just posted online. And this is coming from Netflix and LinkedIn. Well, it's not maybe the most urgent one if our CFO, and of course, it is using different password in the company services, right? Well, if not, change the password, enable 2-factor authentication anyway. But this is the information that we can tell to administrators that you understand better what's happening inside the organization. Later on, we will use this data also from regarding external users. So when you are receiving an email, and then if you know that actually this user's account has been breached already, how much you can trust to that sender. So that's something that will come then later on. Then let's go to next thing, which is our mobile protection. And this mobile protection, as I already said, this is a totally new application. And how it's visible is that now if you go to devices, you can see legacy mobile devices and you can see mobile devices. If you are already using, or some of your customers are using mobile protection of freedom from mobile security or freedom for business from F-Secure, you can see those devices under here, legacy mobile devices. And you can actually start migrating those immediately to this new product. If you don't know how to do it, you can contact your local F-Secure office, and they will definitely help you. Or you can call to support, and of course they will give you that guidance as well. But you can start migrating those to mobile devices, and here you can then see all these mobile devices. What's new there? So we actually combined those two solutions together, so we can protect the network. So we have network protection there, and then we have file protection there, and then we have more data. So we have profiles to these mobile devices. So if we go here and select mobile protection, and let's open this iOS open, for example. And here you can see that we have this network protection. We have browsing protection that we can detect malicious websites. We can do, of course, that for HTTPS as well, and tracking protection. One good thing is that we can also force these settings. So we can really say now that, okay, I want to enable network protection, and you cannot, or user cannot disable it. So it's more controlling in the same way like we are controlling other user devices. So please check it out, test it, and start doing that migration if you have any customers that are using that old version at the moment. All right, so then let's go to these next steps. We already went through quite nice list of all new features that we launched in Species and in this Elements webinar. Elements launch. But then let's check that what's next. So, of course, we will continue this work all the time. Elements is our portfolio, cloud portfolio. And the first thing that we will do is that we will streamline and improve this navigation even more further. So now, if you remember, in the right upper corner here, you can open this selector where how you can change between these capabilities. But now we will move these to the left navigation pane. So then on the left-hand side, you have all these capabilities and products that you have, and then you can easily use those. Of course, then if you want to go to those detailed settings under that one capability, then those will be in the same menu as well. So these will collapse and expand when you click this one. So then you don't have these solution-specific menus anymore, but we are using this one combined way to show this one. So this is really big thing that then it's really easy to use and navigate inside Elements Security Center. Then Elements Connector, I already mentioned that this is currently in the pilot phase. If you want to participate this one, again, reach out to your local office, F-Secure office, and then they will help you how to get into this pilot. But soon it will be out. And what is this Elements Connector? Elements Connector is actually, or it includes all existing PSP endpoint proxy capabilities. So if you want to route traffic through this Elements Connector, you can do it and save some bandwidth. And then the new thing is that it's also easy way to forward security events to your syslog server. So how it works is that you can install this Elements Connector, and then you will set up that, okay, my syslog server or CM server is located in this IP address or this DNS host name, and then you will forward those events there. So let me show how it's visible here. So under devices, you can see that you have this connectors pilot, and under this connectors pilot, you can see that I have this Elements Connector here. So of course, if you have multiple those, then those devices or Elements Connector devices are listed here. Then you have a profile, and in this profile, you are specifying that, okay, where my event should be forwarded to. So here you can see that, okay, I have this SIEM server running in this IP address, and this is the format that I want to use. What is the protocol that I want to use, TCP or UDP? And then we are just forwarding all these security events to this server. So it's really easy to set it up. It's really easy to start sending this data to that syslog server. And at the moment, in the first phase, we can send all these security events to that server, and then more to come really soon. But this is the first phase. So now we can send all these security events to that syslog server. Then SharePoint protection. So this is the new thing that we are cooking at the moment. And what does it mean is that now we have this Outlook or mailbox protection. We can analyze all your files. We can also sandbox your files, which means that then we can really take a deep analysis or do deep investigation to that file in the email, and checking that is that something new, zero-day malware that we can then block that kind of threats as well. Of course, the same capability will be here in the SharePoint protection. So then you can pick and choose that what are your SharePoint sites where you want to protect, or that you want to protect, and then you can select what are the settings that you want to use there, and sandboxing is one of those features, of course, there as well. Of course, then SharePoint protection is something that when you are using Teams, for example, and this Teams is using SharePoint quite heavily. So if you are, for example, creating a Teams channel and then sharing some files there, actually those files are going to SharePoint. So which means that, yes, we can also protect those as well at the same time when this product comes out. More to come. Now I just wrote these slides SharePoint, but of course OneDrive is something that will follow as well. So then we have really this collaboration protection. We want to start protecting Microsoft 365 services that we have there. And here you can see, for example, one example that, okay, suspicious file detected in SharePoint. You can see details, and then you can see that, okay, you had 3 files there, and then we can quarantine those. Of course, it's super important when we are talking about SharePoint. Quite many files are internally created, but also you are exposing those externally. But especially when those are like really user-created content, we want to make sure that we don't lose that data. So it needs to go to the quarantine, that you can do further investigation or restore it even if needed. Then one interesting feature is our EDR capability to start doing advanced response. So what does it mean? At the moment, we can isolate those hosts really nicely. We can collect forensic package if we want to do further investigation, so we can collect all the logs and then we can investigate those. We can isolate that computer from the network immediately. What is happening next is that we will bring a quite long list of different kind of response commands, or I would say that awesome list of response capabilities. We can delete files, we can block processes, we can delete registry keys, we can delete scheduled tasks, we can fetch files, we can even like dump the whole full memory or memory regarding one process. So if you know how to investigate or how to analyze memory dumps, you can do it. Again, remember one of the things that I mentioned in the very beginning, we are here to help you. So we have that F-Secure elevation. It doesn't mean that you need to have those skills. If you don't know how to do it, or you don't have that skill set maybe yet, we have a lot of trainings. We are always educating you that how to do that. But if you don't know, we are here for you. And F-Secure Elevation can help. And then we can utilize these there if you give us permission to do so. But there will be a lot of different kind of response commands that we can start doing this advanced response for threat investigation. That was the last slide that I actually had here, and it looks that we have 5 minutes left. So I thought that it would be good to take a couple of questions if you have any, before I will say official thank you to you. I hope that you got a lot of good information. But now, if you have any questions, please send those to the chat, and I can answer those questions. Okay, I can see some questions. So, for example, the first one is that when this SharePoint will be available. I would like to say tomorrow. Unfortunately, you need to wait a little bit more, but we have aimed to go to the pilot mode next month. So if you are again interested in that pilot mode, please reach out to your local country office and please tell that, and we are more than happy to take you to the pilot. Then there's a question when this same dashboard will be available on the reseller level. I think I already answered to that one. So this company account level dashboard is today there, but next Monday this partner level dashboard goes to the production. So there will be that will be there really soon. Then there is a question that is there any way to get nice report regarding these compromised accounts, and this is something that we are now investigating, that how we are improving this reporting in a more general level. So we want to start delivering better reporting for you, better export possibilities that you can take out that data if needed. At the moment, it's more or less manual job. You can of course receive those alerts via email, and then you will get the data, but it's not easy way to export it to the CSV file. And by the way, if I don't go through all these answers, as I already promised, we will answer to all these questions, and we still have time to go through a few more questions. There's a question regarding vulnerability management and regarding open network ports, and a question that would it be possible to see that if that port is actually already blocked by firewall. At the moment, vulnerability management doesn't show it, so you need to combine that data a little bit. But this is one feature request that we have sent to our product management, that hopefully we will see that soon in the product as well. And maybe at the same time I can maybe do some marketing here. So partner portal soon will have a link that you can start sending feature requests to us. So you will get access to our ideas portal, and then you can post your feature request there. And that's really valuable information. So please send those to us. Then a question, I think this is let's take two more. And this is the question regarding licensing. So would it be possible to get the demo license? Absolutely. So contact your local F-Secure office, and you will get the demo license if you don't have that already. So absolutely, we want that you have capabilities to show these to customers, and we are of course helping you whenever needed. What is the address to new Elements management portal? So this Elements Security Center. This is a fantastic question. The address is elements.f-secure.com. So go to that address, use your existing user account and password, and then you will see Elements Security Center in full blown. And next Monday, as said, you will get that partner dashboard as well. Now I think that I used all my time. So thank you very much for joining this webinar. I hope that you liked the content, and please give us feedback. And we know that what kind of webinar you would like to hear or want to see next time. And stay tuned. A lot of good things are happening, and let's work together and just let us know if we can help you more. Have a nice day, and thank you very much.